Hello, my name is Gemma, and from my professional experience I have over 30 days of experience from being on a placement to being a freelancer. For the last several years I have been photographing weddings, and it's always been clear to me that I want to be independent. This is because I want to be my own boss. I have the freedom of my own choice. I can choose my clients carefully, my working hours and my salary, and I can learn at my own pace. I set up a Facebook page straight away for my photography business for a source of advertising and marketing in order to gain clients. I also made some business cards to help advertise my business. Doing this made me realise that being self-employed, it was important to network and advertise yourself. There is a lot of competition, so you've got to ask yourself what makes you stand out from the crowd. One day we got asked by the third year photographers if we were interested in helping out with the recording of their symposium. I thought this would be a great chance for me to gain some experience. On the day I was allocated to photograph, and I found that the lighting was having a big impact on how my images were turning out. I had to overcome this problem by changing settings constantly because the lighting in the room kept going from dark to bright. This improved later on in the day, and I found that I had to keep taking as many images as possible before the light changed so I didn't miss anything. I also found that I couldn't move around and I had to stay in one spot because otherwise I'd be in the way. It wasn't the best of angles either, and I just had to do what I could do best and take what I learned from photographing weddings in a church. Every time there was a break I had to keep uploading the images I captured onto a laptop so my memory card wouldn't run out of space. One day there was an email asking if there was any students interested in photographing a dog show in Brighton. I jumped at the chance because I thought it would be an interesting experience, especially when I've never actually photographed a dog show but have photographed dogs. I thought it was going to be easy, but it turned out to be quite hard. There were 3 of us, and at least one of us had to stay in the arena photographing. We all had trouble photographing the dogs moving because the lighting wasn't great, and we had to bump up the ISO up really high, which made the photos look really grainy. We also weren't allowed to use flash, which was understandable because it would scare and distract the dogs. We also didn't know what was going on, and nor did the people running the event, and I have learned that communication is key to achieve the best. At the end of the day, we were instructed to edit the photos and send the edits on a CD in the post. We were also offered to photograph another dog show in December, which I have agreed to so I can gain more experience within photographing dog shows. I wanted to try something new and actually see what it would be like to work on a placement following instructions from someone else. It has always interested me to see what it would be like to become a teacher, inspiring young people to follow their dreams and become a photographer. So I emailed many schools around my area that I know do photography. I emailed each place in my CV and only 2 got back to me, and I've decided to go and work with a school who also teaches photography to younger years and not just sixth form. Before I started, I had to go and fill out a form and get a DBS certificate. Once that came through, I then met up with a teacher who was allowing me to join her, and we came up with a timetable of when I was going to be in. My first day arrived and I was nervous but so excited to see if I wanted to become a teacher alongside doing weddings. My first day consisted of helping out with the Year 9s doing former tropes and Year 12s with their exam prep and coursework. This was a great chance for me to go around and ask them about their projects. I also helped out with the Year 13's exam prep, and I found out that one lad was going to be joining photography in September at Coventry University, so it was nice for him to meet up with someone who actually goes there, for him to ask questions on what it was like. Towards the end of my placement, I was then asked if I wanted to give a talk about university life and my work to the current Year 12s who are currently thinking about going to university. This was a great chance for me to get my work out there and known by people. My presentation lasted for an hour by me talking about Coventry University and my work. I also allowed them to ask me questions at any time about my work or university life. This gave me a great idea of what teaching was going to be like when I was left alone in the classroom, teaching them while the actual teacher was marking work. Overall, I have decided that I actually don't want to become a secondary school teacher. I just felt like it wasn't for me, but I am interested in teaching photography to older years at college. If I never did this placement, I wouldn't have found out that teaching children such as 14 wouldn't have been for me. So I have saved myself some time after graduating and not wasting it on something I could have found out earlier. Coming away from this placement, I also feel like I have learned or have improved on several skills like my confidence when approaching people. Over the past 6 months I have taken part in 2 exhibitions, and this has led me to my work being published in the Coventry Evening Telegraph. This was also to encourage people to our exhibition. After the 2 exhibitions, 4 of us came up with the idea of creating a magazine. This magazine was going to be based around the current photography students' work, followed by a theme. It took us a while to come up with a name and design because all 4 of us had different ideas, and this is when we had to work as a team and make allowances. Unfortunately, we are no longer designing this magazine because of unforeseen circumstances with 2 members of the team, so this made me realise that we need to allow for situations to occur, but we also need to stay strong as a team and talk to one another. We also just ran out of time, and I've learned working as a group you just got to get on with it if one member of the team can't make it. After my 2 exhibitions, I was then offered to do my own exhibition. This was a great opportunity to advertise myself. 6 months ago I wouldn't have had the confidence to do this, but having exhibited in 3 exhibitions I have learned a lot from planning to advertising. I've had people ask me about my work, and I've also had people messaging me about possible photography work or buying prints. This shows that networking and getting yourself out there is a great way to achieve business. I was contacted by a band to see if I was interested in photographing some bands down in London. I thought this would be an interesting experience because I've never actually photographed bands before. The only problem I had during this photo shoot was the fact they kept jumping around, which made my images blurry. I had to overcome this by staying calm and remind myself that this was the first time I've ever photographed bands. Overall, I have gained a wider eye for detail, a lot more confidence, a diverse portfolio, knowledge and experience of being a professional, and contacts. I have learned to deal with my time management better, on how to network, that not everything runs smoothly and I need to be prepared, and it's made me realise I want to aim higher with my business.